You're about to discover something that most gardeners in cold climates never realize, that those expensive perennial plants sitting in nursery greenhouses can actually grow just as well in your backyard. And you can start them this month for a fraction of the price. Not next spring, not next year, right now. And here's the best part. Once you have them in the ground, they'll produce food for decades with barely any effort. Forget everything you've been told about needing warm weather for endless harvests. We're about to break that myth wide open. I'm Adam Grove from Backyard Crops, and if you're watching this video, you probably feel like gardening in a cold climate zone means limitations. You think you're stuck buying seedlings every spring, or you believe those fancy greenhouses have some secret you don't have access to. But that's not true, and I'm going to show you exactly why. If this sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button right now. The information we're covering today applies whether you're in Zone 3, Zone 4, or anywhere else where winter temperatures drop below freezing. Share this video with anyone in your life who gardens in a cold area. They're going to thank you for it. Here's what most people get wrong. They think that living in a cold climate means they can't have perennial crops. That's completely backwards. The truth is, your climate is actually perfect for growing certain types of food plants that will produce for years and years without replanting. The secret doesn't involve cold frames. It doesn't require low tunnels or those expensive outdoor heating systems everyone talks about on gardening forums. What you actually need is better strategy, better plant selection, better understanding of how plants work. When you're working in a Zone 3 garden or similar cold regions, you have access to plants that have evolved specifically for your conditions. These plants have built-in survival mechanisms that make them absolutely perfect for consistent harvests. The underground root systems are stronger. The regrowth patterns are more reliable. The cold adaptation means less disease pressure and fewer pest problems. Think about it this way. Plants that naturally thrive in cold climates don't need babying. They don't need expensive amendments or special care routines. They just need to be planted in the right spot and left to do what millions of years of evolution designed them to do. The best part? You can start most of these plants from seed right now, in the middle of winter, while everyone else is stuck waiting for spring. That means by the time summer arrives, you'll already have established plants producing food. That means by next year, you'll be harvesting the same plants you cost you $50 to $75 each at the nursery. Before we dive into the specific plants, you need to understand what makes a plant capable of producing continual harvests year after year. Every plant we're going to discuss shares 4 common characteristics. If you remember these 4 things, you'll be able to identify other perennial plants on your own. First characteristic: a strong underground storage system. This is probably the most important one. The root system, tuber or crown underground, stores energy and nutrients. In a cold climate, this underground part is protected by soil insulation. It doesn't freeze as quickly or as severely as exposed plant material. This is why underground storage systems are so valuable in Zone 3 and similar areas. The plant can survive harsh winters and regrow every single spring. Second characteristic: regrowth after the leaves are removed. This is called defoliation recovery. When you harvest the leaves, the plant can grow them back. This happens repeatedly throughout the growing season. Some plants grow back faster than others, but the ability to regrow leaves multiple times is absolutely essential for continual harvesting. You're not killing the plant when you pick from it. The plant is designed to handle that harvesting pressure. Third characteristic: the plant reproduces itself. Some plants do this through cloning. Some spread through underground runners. Some produce seeds that fall and grow new plants. Some create bulbs or divisions that split off naturally. The reproduction method doesn't matter as much as the fact that the plant makes more of itself. This means one plant becomes 2, becomes 5, becomes a whole section of your garden producing food. Fourth characteristic: true cold adaptation. This is specifically for perennial plants. The plant either evolved in cold climates naturally, or it was deliberately bred by agricultural scientists to handle cold conditions. When you're shopping for plants, look for varieties developed by university breeding programs in northern regions. These varieties were literally created to handle your growing conditions. Category 1: underground storage champions. Let's start with plants that store their energy underground. These are going to be your most reliable year-round producers in a cold climate. Asparagus is the first plant you should plant in your cold climate garden. This is the easiest perennial crop to start, and the returns are remarkable. An asparagus plant can produce for 15 to 20 years without replanting. Once it's established, you get 6 to 8 weeks of continuous daily harvest. That's roughly 6 to 8 weeks where you walk out in the morning and pick fresh asparagus spears. Every single day, multiple times per day if you want to. The way asparagus works is simple. The crown underground is where all the energy storage happens. You harvest the spears as they pop up. When the spears get thinner, about the thickness of your pinky finger, that's your signal to stop harvesting. The plant wants to focus on photosynthesis and rebuilding those underground crowns for next year. 6 to 8 weeks of daily harvest is genuinely continuous production, and if you freeze them or preserve them, you're set with asparagus for months. Rhubarb is the second underground storage plant. This is where you eat the stems, not the roots. The stems are what you cook with, what you make desserts from, what you preserve. The leaves are toxic, so you never eat those. The roots are part of the underground crown system that stores energy. Different rhubarb varieties exist, but all of them need that cold climate to reach their full potential. Rhubarb actually needs winter cold to break dormancy properly. Without that cold period, the plant gets confused and doesn't produce well. Horseradish is the third underground storage plant, and this one is special. It's definitely an underground tuber-type plant. The flavor's intense and spicy, which makes it perfect for health-conscious gardeners. Fresh horseradish is dramatically better than anything you can buy in a store. The leaves are actually quite attractive. They're large and dramatic, and kind of look tropical, which is funny because horseradish is one of the toughest, hardiest plants you can grow. Horseradish will grow literally anywhere. We're not exaggerating when we say anywhere. Plant it in your garden and it thrives. Plant it in a ditch at the edge of your property and it thrives. It's a genuinely indestructible plant. This makes it perfect for cold climate gardeners who want reliability without fussing. Category 2. Leaf harvesting plants. These plants keep producing leaves throughout the entire growing season. You harvest from them continuously and they regrow. Lovage is basically a giant perennial celery plant. Everyone argues about the pronunciation, and honestly, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it tastes like celery, it has a similar texture, and it grows in cold climates where regular celery gets finicky. The stems are slightly thinner than commercial celery, but the flavor is actually stronger and fresher. Once you plant lovage, it comes back every spring. You harvest from it from the time the leaves appear until the first frost hits. That's literally 4 to 5 months of continuous harvesting from one plant. You don't need to replant it, you don't need to do anything special. It just sits there producing leaves for you to harvest. Sorrel is the second leaf harvesting plant, and it's excellent for cold regions. This plant has a bright, lemony flavor that comes from oxalic acid in the leaves. Sorrel works wonderfully in soups, salads, and sauces. The plant isn't flashy to look at, but appearance isn't the point. Production is the point. Like lovage, you harvest sorrel from spring until the first frost. It's a smaller plant that doesn't take up much garden space, but it produces consistently. One sorrel plant will give you enough leaves for multiple harvests throughout the season. Perennial kale varieties work well in zones 4B and above, so depending on your exact location, this might be perfect for you or just barely out of reach. These are woody plants, meaning the stems are sturdier than annual kale. The leaves are edible, and you're specifically looking for Brassica oleracea varieties. Perennial kale produces leaves from the moment new foliage appears until frost hits. Same harvesting pattern as the others. One plant, season-long production, no replanting. Category 3. Self-cloning plants. These are plants that reproduce themselves over and over. You harvest some, leave some behind, and you get more next year. Walking onions are the first self-cloning plant. These are totally different from storage onions or regular bulb onions. Walking onions are wild because they literally clone themselves. You eat the bulbs. As long as you leave some in the soil, the plant keeps making more bulbs. The term walking comes from the fact that the plant naturally moves across your garden as bulbs drop and regrow in new spots. If you start walking onions from seed this winter, we recommend waiting till next year to harvest. That gives the colony time to build up. By year 2 and beyond, you'll have consistent production. Chives and garlic chives work the same way. Everyone knows what chives are. They regrow after cutting. They produce flowers that are actually quite pretty. Chives spread across an area if you let them, which is a feature, not a problem. The only thing to watch is that chives can take over a garden bed if given free rein. Here's the thing about chives. You can harvest from them constantly, all summer long, right up until the first frost, and then you stop because you're honestly just tired of chives at that point. Most gardeners end up with so many chives that they actually get sick of them. That's a good problem to have. Category 4. Perennial fruit plants. This is where things get exciting. Fruit-producing perennial plants give you completely different nutrition and flavor than leaf or root crops. Tree fruits like apples, pears, plums, cherries, and apricots are absolutely viable in cold climates when you choose the right varieties. Here's the key that most people miss. Look specifically for varieties bred by Northern University breeding programs. The University of Saskatchewan has developed apple varieties that produce incredibly in Zone 2. They have cherry series varieties like Romeo and Juliet that produce so many cherries you'll actually get tired of harvesting them. Why university-bred varieties? Because these plants were literally designed to handle your specific climate. The breeder knew exactly what zone they were breeding for. They tested the plants through brutal winters. They selected for plants that could survive extreme cold while still producing high yields. You won't find this kind of reliability in generic commercial tree varieties. These university-bred fruits give you the best bang for your money. One plant produces for decades. The yields are high, the cold hardiness is guaranteed. Day-neutral strawberries are different from regular strawberries in a crucial way. Regular strawberries only produce berries in June. This happens because of day length. When the days are shorter in early spring, the plant gets the signal to flower and produce. But it only happens once. Day-neutral strawberries don't follow that day-length pattern. They flower and fruit regardless of day length. So they produce in early June and mid-July and late August. That's 3 different production periods throughout the season. In a cold climate, those later harvests are especially valuable because you're getting fresh strawberries while other gardeners are done for the year. Raspberries are absolutely foolproof for cold climate gardeners. Multiple benefits make them incredible. They taste amazing, they freeze beautifully, you can make jam from them, and you can pick them fresh whenever you want. Here's the real benefit though. Raspberries have natural pest protection. The thorns on the canes protect them from birds, from kids picking them without permission, from neighbors just grabbing berries. You have to work for raspberries. It's a rite of passage. Your hands will get scratched. That's just part of the deal. But because of those thorns, your harvest stays yours. Raspberries are basically an invasive weed, which means they spread everywhere. If you don't contain them, they'll take over your entire garden in a few years. But that's actually a good thing. It means they grow anywhere, thrive anywhere, and require zero special care. The trade-off is that you need to put them somewhere they can be slightly contained, along a sidewalk, next to concrete, or in a raised bed. Don't overthink growing raspberries. Just grab some established canes from someone local if you can. Plant them and let them do their thing. Before we wrap up, here's something that might blow your mind. Some annual crops actually regrow after you harvest them, making them function like perennials in your garden. Basil, thyme, and oregano all regrow after you cut from them. You're technically replanting them each year from seed, but their growth pattern during the season is the same as a perennial. You harvest, they regrow, you harvest again. Loose leaf lettuce, not head lettuce, regrows after you cut the leaves. You can harvest the outer leaves repeatedly throughout the season. The plant keeps making new leaves from the center. These plants regrow after defoliation. That regrowth ability is the key characteristic that lets you harvest continuously rather than just once per year. Here's something special about garlic. It's technically an annual crop, but it functions like a perennial crop in cold climates. You plant garlic in fall. It sits dormant through winter. It grows in spring. You harvest in summer. But here's the key. If you save some of your harvest and replant it, you never have to buy garlic again. This is called colonial reproduction or cloning. Garlic doesn't grow from seed. It reproduces by splitting bulbs and creating new clones. You dig up your bulbs, separate the cloves, and replant them. Every clove becomes a new plant. So one garlic plant from the store becomes 10 plants next year, becomes 100 plants the year after. Living in Zone 3 or Zone 4 isn't a limitation, it's an advantage. You have access to plants that were specifically designed for your conditions. Your winters aren't a problem, they're actually beneficial for plant development and dormancy cycles. The key is choosing plants that match your zone. Look for varieties that are one zone below your actual zone or right at your zone. If you go above your zone, you'll need to babysit those plants through winter with insulation and protection. That's extra work you don't need. The plants we've covered today are all adapted to cold climates. They expect winter. They expect short summers. They expect frost. That's not a problem for them. It's exactly what they want. You now have all the information you need to build a perennial food garden that produces year after year without replanting. You can start from seed this winter. You can have established plants producing by next summer. You can have a system that's virtually maintenance-free by the year after that. This isn't about buying expensive plants from nurseries. This is about understanding how plants work and choosing varieties that thrive where you actually live. If you found this information helpful, please hit that subscribe button. More videos on cold climate gardening are coming to this channel. Share this video with other gardeners in your area. Drop a comment below telling us what perennial crops you're most excited to try. Let us know which zone you're gardening in. That community feedback is incredibly valuable, and it helps us create better content for your specific region. Start planning your perennial food garden today. Look up university-bred plants in your region. Check your local growing zone. Make a list of which plants from this video excite you most. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Winter is actually the perfect time to get seeds started and plan for the productive years ahead. I'm Adam Grove with Backyard Crops, and we'll see you in the next video.